Hey everybody, I'm Raul, aka LJ, from the Weekly Pass podcast, here to present you Don't Stand in the Fire episode 2. This is going to be my first episode, so I hope it goes quite well. Uh, Don't Stand in the Fire is a new series that Mezzy, Vivi, and myself are presenting, and each week we're going to present a new subject that we'll pick apart, and hopefully you'll find it interesting. This week we're going to talk about the auction house, and namely, why hasn't the auction house changed in the past 10 years? Because if you really think about it, the auction house hasn't changed at all, except for when maybe a new item became available, like jewelry or glyphs. But in the core concept, it's still the same auction house as 10 years ago. Uh, if you think about it, it's pretty weird because Blizzard has always done a lot with currencies. I mean, you used to have the old honor system, that you just had to, for kills. But nowadays you have honor points and you have justice points and valor points and all sorts of points that you can get. But the gold and the auction house are still very much the same. Um, on the other hand, I understand that Blizzard does that because if you think about it, the economy does impact a whole lot on a server. If you think, especially like most servers are 70 to 30% ratio, Alliance, Horde, Horde Alliance, whatever kind of server you on. It depends on which side you are, how much money you can gain by selling a certain item, how much you will lose by actually buying that item. Um, this is already getting reduced a lot in Warlords of Draenor. If you've been paying a little bit of attention to it, which I assume you have been, because that's why you're watching me now, that they are effectively removing the three auction houses, so the Alliance, Horde, and Neutral auction house, and making it into effectively one auction house. Um, like I said before, this is for the servers that are heavily populated, like 90 to 10% servers, but also on the 70 to 30%. This is going to have a lot of impact, of course. Um, to the people who try to make money from it, or people who actually have to buy stuff from it, it's going to impact a lot because um, who's to say that because of this that people will grind as much or farm as much or use the farms in like items like the farm in Mr. Pandaria as much just to get the items, because maybe the things will get cheaper and you'll have to grind a lot less to get the same amount. I, for one, am for this, though there's a lot of discussion going on, of course. Uh, why not discontinue the whole alliance and horde? That's a story for another week, maybe next week or the week after that. But nevertheless, there are still other possible such solutions to it. For instance, I'm a Reddit reader. I'm an avid Reddit poster as well. A lot of people, the people who watch the podcast, know this by now. But I saw a Reddit post by a certain, I have the name right here because we all know names are very weird on the internet, KF43, saying, why don't we have reverse auction houses? Because if you think about it, a lot of auction MMOs have this. Final Fantasy, I think, WildStar, and even more have this. So why not do this? A lot of people are, maybe you're thinking like, what's a reverse auction house? Well, at the moment, if you have items like a stack of copper ore, to say something simple, you put them on the auction house for, let's say, 20 gold, because auction house copper ore, pardon me, is very expensive at the moment. You put it on the auction house, 120 gold for it. Somebody just clicks buys it, and then you sell it to them automatically. But why not be able to, when you're leveling up a new profession and you need the copper ore, that you say, well, I want to make a buy order of 50 copper ore and I'll pay 19 and a half, 19 gold per stack. This might make it easier also for people who have that copper ore to actually sell it right away and not having to wait for it. So, for instance, they see that buy order, they say, oh, well, I have 20 copper ore, 30, 40, whatever. You have one copper ore, maybe even. You'll sell it to that guy, and he will receive that copper ore for the price that he set it to. That's just one of the possibilities that's out there. I mean, there's a lot of possibilities. Also, just improving the auction house on its own. I mean, there are dozens, maybe even hundreds of auction house add-ons. I am an avid user of Auctioneer because otherwise, if I did not use that, I would not make as much money as I do now. This is not a commercial for the Auctioneer, of course, but thanks to the guy who made it. Um, it really made a lot of money for me because it can really show what the prices are in a press of a button and make and undercut them for 2.5%. I know that's a really bastard thing to do, but it makes money. Don't judge me. So in the end, I think there are a lot of things that can be done to something that to a core concept that's been around for 10 years. I think it's important to realize that it's not easily changed because an economy does a lot for a server. It sets up certain boundaries between certain players, between certain guilds, etc. But it doesn't mean that it shouldn't be changed or shouldn't be, you know, improved. So yeah, I think we've talked enough about that. Um, Let me know if you liked it, of course. Put something in the comments. I always like to hear the good things, bad things, not so much. But if it can be improved, please let me know. Don't forget to subscribe to BB Mezzi and like this video also if you liked it. And yeah, hopefully we'll see you next time.